Welcome back for your monthly upload. Today's video is going to be a tad bit different, mainly because I want to talk about the state of Smite 2 and talk about its future. Like I said at the beginning, this video is going to be a bit different. This is more of a commentary. The gameplay in the back is gameplay when the 24/7 finally went live, and a lot of the things in the game have definitely changed since then, with the two newest gods being Baron and Yamoja. And I want to state for the record now that the lack of videos isn't because of the lack of enjoyment I've had with Smite 2. That's for a completely different reason. But it's more of me trying different things, trying other games, and trying to record other games for y'all. I've got like 2 other videos that are currently stuck in limbo because I just haven't felt like finishing them. And that's on me. But anyway, that's enough of me yapping. Let's talk about... So Smite 2 got announced almost 8 months ago from the time of recording this, and the 24/7 full access, alpha access, came out back in August for anyone who pre-ordered the fancy edition or the fancy edition or the even fancier edition with the tier 5 Zeus skin. And ever since then, this is the god roster we have, which isn't the main problem I want to talk about for Smite 2, but it definitely has its reasons for being a major complaint. Now, Smite 2 was announced at the same time Year 11 content for Smite 1 was supposed to be coming out, with the introduction of everyone's favorite god, Nut, or Newt, however you want to pronounce that. Let's be real, everyone calls her Nut. It's fine. It's okay. We all know why. With the only major things being added to the game was the only new god that year, and a couple new items and a couple item reworks, like the entire tier 2 change. But that was it for the whole year. Up until now, all Smite 1 has gotten has been skins for Smite 2. Which most of these skins do look really nice, but most of them you can't even actually use yet in Smite 2. And I do understand that these skins are available to use in Smite 1. I have played with most of them. Anytime they come out, I usually try to play with those gods, just because, I like playing new skins. There's not going to be any new content for the game for the whole year. Skins are the only content. I'm gonna use them. But that brings me back to, Smite 2 and the lack of updates with Smite 2. This game is in alpha, and for being in alpha, you would think there would definitely be a lot more tweaking to the game, but after like a week or two, the game still feels the same as it did the week before, and it's because we're not getting updates like every other day like we probably should be, considering it being an alpha. It doesn't We're not asking for more gods, we're asking for small tweaks and small fixes. There are certain items in the game that just feel horrible to use, like most lifesteal items for mages and most lifesteal items in general just feel really underpowered, and certain gods just dominate roles because they're just better than others, and it's been like that since launch. And I'm not asking for Hi-Rez to start promoting slave labor and cracking the whips on their employees, telling them to get patches out faster. But I mean, that's what they're doing with Smite 1. The Smite 1's being worked on by a skeleton crew now, while everyone else is full in on Smite 2. My only question is, where is it all at? What, are they working on Smite Cart 2? That would be fun. That would be a twist. Now, granted, I've only played a few games recently, but Baron feels awful to play. He doesn't feel anywhere near as powerful as he did in Smite 1. His ult doesn't feel like it pulls anywhere near as hard, which I kind of have mixed feelings about, because the less CC in a game like this, I feel like the funner it would be. But Baron just feels awful to play. And that could be fixed with just a couple item changes and maybe a couple number changes or stat changes. I'm not asking you to rework the whole god. And speaking of reworks, what the hell did they do to Barons, bro? Why does it do damage now? And why do you only get one of them? Who decided this? Sorry, I get a bit emotional sometimes. Anyways, regardless, something Hi-Rez made really clear is that they wanted items to be available for everyone, which they are, granted, but not every god can take advantage of that. For example, Neith being a really good mid laner now instead of an ADC because a lot of her abilities scale off intelligence or magic. But others, they essentially didn't change at all. And I feel like that's a big thing that they're missing out on is not allowing some of these characters to have hybrid builds. Mordred, for example, has the ability to have a hybrid build, but there's no real point to it because some of his abilities that scale off intelligence, like his healing, don't scale that well off intelligence. So you're better off just building a plain either jungle Mordred build or a plain solo Mordred, which I feel like is missing out on the whole point of everyone being able to build whatever they want. Other gods like Ymir take crit Ymir way too serious. I've seen crit Ymir in my games way too many times for it to be a joke at this point. And Soul ADC being like just destroying casual lobbies. Now, I've already ranted about the life stealing items being pretty bad in the game, but something that I find really interesting, especially now that the emoji is in the game, and there's finally kind of like a healing support in the game. There's no healing items. Like in Smite 1, you had the different rods in the game that would give bonus healing to your allies. So it'd be really good for Afro, Yamoja, and any other god that I can't think of right now because there's just way too many. But there's no variety like that in this game. And again, it is an alpha, but there hasn't been a single healing item at all throughout the entirety of Smite 2. And I could be probably missing an item because there probably is like a random support type of like protection item that has something along that line. And I do know about the mushroom, the active mushroom that's essentially just healing aura. But when Afro comes out, I would love to see some new items like that. But let's start talking about the god problem. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't think the lack of gods is a problem for the game. I think they should take their time so they can change or add or recreate how each god ability works, whether it's with it, if it scales off strength or magic or intelligence. Do something, but I do want to talk about how right now the lack of diversity in each game is kind of killing the alpha. Because, like I said, there are certain gods that just dominate certain roles. You'll see a Neith mid lane almost every game you play. You'll see something like a Fenrir jungle every single game you play. And that's because Hi-Rez isn't keeping up with balancing this game as they should be. And again, I don't want them working sweatshop hours, but some tweaks and changes are needed to keep this alpha fresh. And we're just lacking it, sadly. Now, I know I've been shitting on this game pretty hard for the past like 8 minutes, but I do want to say that most games I get into, I have been enjoying them, but there are just some things that this alpha, I'm going to keep saying alpha because as much as I would love to call this a game, it's not. It's not finished. It needs more time, and if player count means anything to anyone, this should be a red flag. To wrap this video up, I know game development's not easy. I've tried it myself, and it is a difficult, agonizing, long process. And I want everyone at Hi-Rez to do their absolute best, which is why I'm saying I want this game to succeed. There's a difference between shit talking and genuine criticism. I do have a shit talk video coming soon about Activision. Oh boy, I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna rip them one. But Smite 2, I genuinely hope succeeds. And I hope if anyone at Hi-Rez somehow manages to see this video, we're rooting for them. The people still playing this game want this game to be good. This has not been a 10-minute video about me hoping this game fails. I want this game to be fun. I want this game to be fresh, and I want it to be one of the best MOBAs. I'm not a big YouTuber. I didn't get invited to play Deadlock, the new Valve game or whatever. I've watched some videos on it. It looks interesting, but this is going to be my game of choice. As long as they fix the problems that it currently has and can grow and expand and be better in the future. Anyways, that's all I gotta say. This is a different type of video, definitely. It's not one of those very quiet me talking while trying to play a video game with friends, yelling and screaming, doing very bad or very good. This is something I've wanted to try out for a while. I love watching commentary videos and game review videos like White Light and Noodle and stuff like that. And if this succeeds or this does well, I will definitely be doing more of this. Uh, but if you like this video or got to the end of the video, please like and subscribe. I don't say it often, but this video was definitely a passion project. Even though it doesn't look like much went into it, this first video I kind of had a script for. I don't really like doing scripts because it feels ungenuine, but I kind of had to for this because I'm fucking illiterate and can't speak worth shit, which is why you might hear me stutter a lot. It is also like 1 o'clock in the morning, so I'm not trying to be super loud. But anyways, if y'all like this video, please give it a like. It'll go through the system and the algorithm, the grubby little YouTube algorithm. Uh, Subscribe and do all that fun stuff. Hopefully, new Smite video coming soon. I've also got a Age of Mythology video coming soon if I can get it out of limbo. Um, that should be fun. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see y'all later.